Hey guys, Stephen Gilbert here with SoulWeb.org, where internet marketing meets integrity. And on today's show, I have the infamous or famous, depends on who you ask, Brett Rutecky. How you doing, Brett?
Hey, what's up, Steven? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. And today I wanted to talk about your Mailit plugin. And I just have a few basic questions for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, of course.
For those of you that don't know, Mailit is a plugin that basically allows you to send emails from your server. And the reason you would want to do that is because autoresponders are going to crap. Like they're doing terrible. So we're going to talk to Brett today about his new plugin. So Brett, tell me the story behind Mailit and why you created it.
Well, when I originally got started in the internet marketing business, I realized really quickly how important email is. I mean, like everybody says, you know, the money's in the list, but you can't overstate that. It's not the money is in the list. The money is the list. I mean, that's like the most important aspect of your business. So when I got started, I realized I need a way to send out emails. So I signed up for MailChimp. And that was originally what I used. And frankly, the reason I used them is because at the time I didn't have a lot of like residual income to just throw around. I didn't have that much money. I mean, I was making like $50,000, $60,000. I was making a decent living as a freelance software developer, but I also had 3 children. And I mean, try to support 3 kids on 60 grand. You're not going to have a lot of money left over every month. Wow. So I needed a system that was cheap, and Mailit had a free plan. So they have this, they call it free forever, 2,000 subscribers, 12,000 emails a month. So that's what I signed up for. That was perfect for me, just getting started and have a big list anyway. And I used them. I used them for quite a while. And one day I went and I logged into my MailChimp account, and there's this big red box, and it says, Omnivore has detected a problem with your emails. Omnivore is like their automated bot that scans all your emails. So they're like, Omnivore has detected a problem and your account has been suspended. You can no longer, send out emails until you send us a support ticket. So I sent them in a support ticket, and I never even got an answer. They just suspended me and never even answered me. MailChimp does not have phone support. You can't call them.
Wow.
So that was it. I was done. I was done with MailChimp. Basically at that point I was out of business, because if you can't send emails, you're pretty much out of business. I'm like, that's it. I lost my business. So what I ended up doing is scrambling around, trying to find a place where I can like sign up for a new autoresponder so I can start sending emails so I can get back into business. And I tried Constant Contact. I think it was Constant Contact. No, I'm sorry. I keep saying that. It was Get Response. I tried Get Response. They wouldn't let me upload my list. So I started looking for one that will let me upload my list, because if I can't upload my list, what's the sense? I'm starting over from scratch. Around that time is when Aweber started allowing list imports. If you remember, years ago, they didn't allow list imports. Right. Around that time is where Aweber. So they became the no-brainer choice. So I went with Aweber. I uploaded my list. Now, I uploaded about 3,000 subscribers. They filtered out about 20 to 30%. So there's like, several hundred subscribers that they just said, okay, you can't add them. No explanation. I have no idea why. But, I didn't want to complain. I didn't want to argue with them, because I was like, you know what, at least I have 70%. That's better than 0, right? At least I'm not out of business. So I sucked it up. I took that hit on my list being shrunk, and I was back in business. I was building up my list. I was building up my reputation. I got to the point where I started winning leaderboards. I started making decent money online. Everything was great and happy. And then I don't know a better way to say it, but one day, like, the shit hit the fan with Aweber. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sorry for swearing, but that's pretty much what happened. I mean, you probably remember it too. All of a sudden, bounces went up. I mean, where I was getting 50 bounces before, I was suddenly getting 250 bounces.
I think you actually sent me a screenshot of one where you had 400 bounces.
Yeah, I didn't know what the heck was going on. So I called Aweber and I asked them, I'm like, what am I doing? Obviously I'm doing something wrong here. What have I done wrong? That can you help me to fix this, to tell me what I'm doing wrong? And they're like, basically what they said was, you're not doing anything wrong. It's on our end. It's a problem on our end. And they fixed it. And it was fine for like another week. And then it went up again. And then I called them, and then they fixed it. And it just ended up being this cycle of like, every time I would mail, it was like, is this going to be a time when they're having problems? Is this the time when I'm going to have a whole bunch of bounces? Because every time you get a bounce, I mean, if you get 200 bounces, that could potentially be thousands of dollars you're losing,
And that's on top of the dropping open rates too that people were getting. So not only were people getting at really high bounces, they're getting dropping open rates, which maybe there's a correlation between the two, but
well, yeah, that's the correlation is if your emails are bouncing, obviously people aren't opening them. So
right.
when you get a huge number of bounces, those are all people that you guaranteed aren't going to open your email. Not because you did something wrong, not because they don't like what you're saying, because they never even got your email in the first place. It's like imagine sending a letter in the post and only 40% of the time the mailman actually delivers it. It wouldn't make much sense, right?
Yeah,
You know?
AWeber is like the Eastern Rush. No offense, is like the Eastern Rush of email deliverability.
I mean, and I started thinking about this. It's like, imagine if I went out and I wanted to get in my car and drive somewhere, and I never knew if my car was going to start or not. What would I do? I would get a new car, right?
Right.
So that's what I started thinking to myself. I started thinking, maybe I need to get a new service. Maybe I need to look around. And a lot of people, I think, got into that mindset. They said, I need to find something new. This isn't reliable. This isn't what I needed. But as I was thinking about it, I realized that all the problems that I have were all centered around one common theme. The point where I got banned and basically lost my business overnight. The point where I couldn't upload my list because the autoresponder for some reason said you can't add these subscribers. The point where I started getting bounces and had no control over it. They were all focused around one common theme. And that one common theme was that I was taking email, the thing that we all agree is the most important part of our business, and I was giving it to somebody else. And I was saying, here it is, have complete control over this, and please don't screw me over.
Right. Well, and I think the other part is not only are you giving it to them, but hundreds of other people like you are giving it to them. And so if any one of those hundreds of people does something negative, that screws over the hundreds of other people that are also using the service, right?
That's absolutely right. Like one of the main things that was happening with AWeber for me was their IP addresses kept getting put on blacklists. So there's like blacklists, like spam cop, spam cannibal. You know, probably a lot of them. You're into email marketing. So their IP addresses were ending up on these blacklists because they let a spammer come in and they have list import and they were importing bad people that they scraped or whatever was happening. And AWeber was suffering. And since AWeber was suffering, me as a customer of AWeber was suffering as well, even though I personally didn't do anything wrong. Exactly. So the only reasonable answer to that was to not rely on a third party. Now, fortunately, I'm a software developer. So I didn't have to go out and look for a way to send emails on my own. I simply created a way to send emails on my own. And that's where Mailit came from. It was a way for me to break that tie and break that dependency on the autoresponder. Now, sure, a nice side effect of that is that I don't have to pay a monthly fee anymore. I was paying $149 a month to AWeber at that point. So a nice side effect is that I don't have to pay that anymore. But initially for me, it was more of a business decision, a decision of how it just doesn't make sense to give these people that.
And so Mailit, what it does is it gives you complete control, right? Your IP is like your fingerprint. It's your reputation. It's what the inbox is used to determine how good of an email the email you're sending is, right? If it's good, it gets delivered. If it's bad, it doesn't. That's a very simplified version. And Mailit gives you the power to be in control of that. And it works so well, actually. You canceled your AWeber account. Right, you don't even have AWeber anymore. You mailed straight from Mailit, right?
Yeah, you know, when I started when I finished Mailit, the very first version, I started testing it out, and I added a few hundred people from my list to Mailit, started sending them, and then I added a few thousand and started sending them. And after a couple of emails, I got to the point where I was like, this is working pretty well. I'm going to add my whole list. So I added my whole list. I sent them like 2 or 3 times. I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell this. That's when at that point is when I decided to sell the Mailit plugin, because I originally created for myself, but I'm also a software developer. I sell software. It just makes sense for me to sell it at this point. I was like, you know what, though? If I'm going to ask everybody to trust my Mailit with their business, I need to be willing to do that myself. Right. So I went, I'm sorry. So I took the plunge. And I deleted my AWeber account. And I said, you know what, before I even ask anybody to buy this, before I ask anybody to trust this plugin, I'm going to do it myself. I deleted my entire list from AWeber. I put my entire business in the hands of Mailit. Now, that was 3 months ago. And anybody in the IM space sees I'm still on leaderboards, still winning contests.
And your opens have actually gone up, right? Like they're higher than they were on AWeber.
Well, we got to the point. And when I first started using AWeber, it was great. And then they went down when they started having these problems. My open rates went to the same level as they were before AWeber had problems. So I don't want
to. So you don't want to say they got better. You just want to say you're
they got to where they're supposed to be.
Yeah,
they got to where they were supposed to be. Yes,
right.
I don't want to say they got better, and I don't want to say that.
Well, to be fair too, in the current climate with autoresponders, that's a good thing. It's very hard to get the open rates you're getting at the moment on any autoresponder, because every autoresponder has groups of people, and groups of people in the internet marketing space tend to mess things up. Well, this protects you from that, and that's why I wanted to interview about it. So, let's see, what do you want to do for the next question? Who do you think is going to benefit the most from Mailit?
Well,
besides people like you and me.
There are two groups of people that are going to benefit it. And everybody likes to say everybody can use my software, but I can honestly say everybody can benefit from Mailit, even though the two groups are going to benefit in two different ways. Now, as I said, I created Mailit, I should say, because I wanted to have control over my business. I already had an established business, and I wanted to have complete control over it. I didn't want to depend on a third-party company. However, the nice side effect from that was that I don't have to pay a monthly fee anymore. So initially, people are going to benefit from it because now they can have an autoresponder, they can have a mass mailer without paying a monthly fee. That's a benefit to the total newbie who is at a point where I was when I was using MailChimp and didn't have the money to pay for a high, expensive autoresponder. Mm-hmm. As people progress and build up their business and get a greater list, they're going to benefit in the way I do, in that now they don't have to worry about getting shut down. They don't have to worry about, not being able to import their list. They don't have to worry about the big name getting a reputation hit. So you're going to benefit in different ways as your business builds up. It's going to start off with, okay, it's great, I don't have to pay a monthly fee. And then as you build a nice list, 10, 12,000, honestly, $149 a month isn't going to be really even a lot of money, but you're going to benefit because it's going to be, okay, that's great. I know my emails are always going to go out.
Yeah, and Mailit's just a simple plugin, right? You just install it on your current website and you're good to go, right?
Yeah. Mailit, my personal blog, which is what I generally mail. I mail reviews to my blog, is a WordPress blog. So people ask me like, well, why did Mailit become a WordPress plugin? I was like, well, it's because I have a WordPress blog.
Yeah,
so it works out though, because a lot of people also have WordPress blogs.
Well, I'd ask you to demo it. Do you want to demo it? I don't know if you want to or not.
I don't want to send out a mail to my list, but I can go ahead and show you the system.
Exactly.
I can go ahead and show you the system. I can show you some of the emails that I sent out as well.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. If you want to show your screen, that'll be perfect. Yeah, I don't want to make you send an email live on call and say, look, it works.
I send an email to my guys and say, hey, I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm doing a demo. And
yeah.
So can you see my screen?
Yep.
So this is Mailit, and you might notice the email that I just sent out here. You can see my last email that I just sent out yesterday. I sent it out at about noon. So far, I've gotten 1,800 opens, 869 clicks, and 11 unsubscribes. Unsubscribes are just a way of life in the IM business. If we go over here to the messages section, you can see here, the email that I just sent out was for a product called Arbitrage Sugar Daddy. That sounds familiar, I think, to you.
Yeah.
And I click on the stats. You can see here, I sent out 10,930 emails. I got 1,802 opens. I'm at a 16% open rate. It hasn't even been 24 hours yet. By the time it's been 24 hours, by this afternoon, that'll be about 20%. But honestly, even at this point, I'm at a very good open rate for a marketing email. 16% open rate. It's not even 24 hours yet.
Oh yeah. No, I don't get those open rates, and my list is about the same size as yours. So you're crushing me in that regard.
If we go to some of the other emails, you can see I generally get really good open rates. Sorry, that was a remail right there. This is a remail. I mailed my unopens. Now, maybe some of the people watching this don't know, but when you mail your unopens, the people that don't open your emails, you generally get a really low open rate. I still got 10% on my unopens.
You still got 1,000 opens, man. There are people that would kill for that, even with the list your size.
Yeah, now that was my unopens. Now, when I send my regular list and I send an actual email to my full list, you can see right here, I send 11,028 emails. I got 2,275 unique opens, a 21% open rate. I got almost 1,000 clicks, let alone 1,000 opens. So you can see that, and this is all because I've built up a good reputation. You know, my IP address has a good reputation. I don't spam my list. I do things the right way, and since I don't suffer from using a multi-user system, I can enjoy these good open rates now. In order.
So, and you teach people how you give them the deliverability tips that you use so that you can get these kind of results, right?
Yep, I give them deliverability tips. Mailit is, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Mailit is really easy to use. So the first thing you do is you go ahead and set up your settings, and it's very simple. This is all information that you already have, and of course there's built-in help right here. If you click on the help button, that explains how to set everything up. After you set up your settings, you go ahead and create your list. Creating your list is very easy. Simply click on create new, enter in the list name and a message to your subscribers. You enter your message so that the way they know how they got on your list. As you can see, you can have unlimited lists, as many lists as you want. Again, I don't tell you how to run your business. You go ahead and click on subscribers. You can add subscribers individually. So if I go ahead and click on add subscribers, I can add any one subscriber. If you click on upload subscribers, you can upload a text file, so you can add subscribers in bulk. Also, you can go over to the list section here, click on this little link icon, and you can build a form. You can adjust these settings to create an opt-in form. Click on generate code, and it'll give you your own form code, so you can add your subscribers that way. Once you have subscribers on your list, simply click on messages, click on new message, select the list you want to send a message out to. You know what? We can't actually send a message here. We can send it to my test list here. So we'll go ahead and pick my list, Brett only test list. I'll go ahead and just say Brett's test for the subject. Oh, I sent it by accident. There you go. Hang on. I'll select Brett's test for the subject. And we'll just send a little message. We'll say, hey, Brett, this is a test. Now, this editor is completely what you see is what you get. It's a WYSIWYG editor. So, for example, right now this text is kind of small because the default text on my blog is small. I want to make it a little larger. I'll just simply select a larger text. If I want to make something bold or underlined, it's very easy. If I want to add an image, I can go ahead and add an image. Again, it's fully WYSIWYG. I can add links. I'm not going to do that since this is just the test. If I want to, I can also go ahead and send a test email. So if you're going to do a live email, I'm sure you do it. You send a test to yourself first to make sure the link and everything works and then it looks right. You can do that as well. Simply entering your test email address in here. Press send now. You can send a test. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to save it. Click on save. You can see my email right here. I can edit it. I can delete it, or I can send it. I'll go ahead and send this message. Now, I have built-in throttling into this, so you can throttle how fast your emails go out. Depending on your server, your emails may want to go out at a certain speed. I have my email set out to go 50 emails every 10 seconds, so it takes a minimum of 10 seconds for my emails to go out. You can see they're all out now, and that's it. That's how easy it is to send mails with Mailit.
Nice. Did it inbox? Could I ask you to check?
Let me go ahead and hang on one second here. I'll go ahead and go back to my thing here if I can find the Google Hangout.
I know it works. I just want them to see it work.
Let me see here. Let me find my Google Hangout. How do I stop sharing screens here?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not used to being on this end. I usually do more interviews. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this. I'll try to put my phone up. There you see my Google,
Yep.
To my Gmail telling me I just got a message.
Yep, there you go.
So yeah, it's that easy to use. You know, one of the things about creating a multi-user system is I realized that you need to make it simple. You need to make it easy to use so that way people can use it. I mean, if you make it too complicated, you make it too convoluted, what happens is they say, oh, this is a little bit hard. I need to watch the tutorial videos. But you know, life goes on, so you never actually do it, you never actually use it. I don't want that to happen. I want people to use my software. So one of the things that I really focus on is making it easy, because I know if it's easy, then people will use it.
Right. Right.
Mailit does also have auto. I didn't show it in there, but Mailit also does have built-in autoresponder, so you can actually set up an autoresponder. So when somebody joins your list, you can send them an autorespond message back. You know, thank you for joining my list, that type of thing.
Cool. Very cool. So how much does it cost? When does it launch? That whole 9 yards. Hang on, I clicked the wrong. There it is. All right. How much does it cost? When does it launch? And what do they get in the front end?
Okay, so for the front end, it's going to start at $37. It's going to raise through the launch up to 47. That's going to be the final price at 47 until the end of the launch. At the end of the launch, it's going to go to 67, and that's what I'm going to sell it long term for. But it's initially going to be at 37. We always like to give a discount to people who jump in on the launch.
That's a one-time price, right? It's not monthly.
Yeah, no, I would never charge a monthly fee for a plugin. I mean, that's kind of silly. You know?
Well, some people might be confused because it's an autoresponder type deal.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a one-time price, $37, and what you're gonna get is you're gonna get the plugin. You're also gonna get, like you said, my deliverability tips that I have in there. That's in the members area. You're going to get the right to use the plugin on any website that you own. That's important. Any website that you own, you have to actually own the website. So if I were to buy this, you can't say, hey, Brett, put it on my website. No, that's not really that fair because you didn't pay for it. You're not a customer. But if I have 10 websites of my own and I actually own them, I can use it on any website that I own it.
So it's like an unlimited license for personal use.
Yes, unlimited license for your personal use. That's the best way of saying it. The first OTO is going to be the developer rights. So that way, if I had it, you could say, hey, Brett, I really like Mailit. And I could say, okay, cool. Give me $20 or give me $50. I'll put it on your site for you. That's what the first OTO gives you the right to do. I think that's a fair OTO as well, because every person you give it away to is a person that is guaranteed not to buy it from me. So that's a nice license. Include it with the developer rights. You're also going to get an invite to a webinar that Mike are doing. It's going to be a live webinar. We will record it if anybody can't show up. But in that, we're going to talk about how we inbox. We're going to talk about how we built up a list, how we built a reputation. It took me under 2 years to make my first $1 million online. And I'm going to explain the things that I did to build that reputation so quickly, so that way people could follow me.
Cool. And that's included. So how much was the price for the first OTO?
The first OTO is 47.
All right. And then are there any other ones?
Yeah, the second OTO is going to be my agency access. Agency access is something that kind of confuses people a little bit because I'm the only one that does it. But what agency actually does is it allows you to put your JVZoo buy button on my sales page. So when you log into your members area, there's actually a field that says enter your JVZoo buy button. You enter in your JVZoo button code, which is very easy to set up. I teach you how to do it. People can do it in about 2 minutes. Paste that in there, and now you can actually be a vendor of Mailit. You can actually sell Mailit as if it was your own product, and that's very important. The distinction between selling it as your own product and being an affiliate, because people just say, well, why don't I become an affiliate? Well, first of all, if you become an affiliate, I'm taking half the money. And second of all, you're building up my email list because I'm getting that customer's contact. When you're a vendor and you're doing it with my agency access, you're getting all the money and I'm not getting that customer's email. That's how you build your business. So my agency access allows people to basically have a product as if it was their own. Only I made it, I support it, I update it, and I do all the hosting. So it's pretty much a done for them, but done for you product. I'm pretty proud of it.
They wouldn't have to worry about putting up sales pages or building funnels or anything. It's all taken care of. They just paste in the code and they're done.
Yeah, I actually have done the agency access with several of my products, and I can honestly say that I know people who made their very first money online because of my agency access, and they wouldn't have been able to otherwise because they wouldn't have had thousands of dollars to get all that stuff created.
Right. That's cool. And how much is that?
That is 97.
Okay, cool. And I assume that's all the OTOs?
There is a final OTO, which is a bundle deal on some of my other products where I say, look, I have several other tools that I use. If you want to buy them, I'll give you a deal on all of them.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Just basic stuff. Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, on my interviews, I always like to give the guests the final word. So if you have any, I don't know, words of wisdom or calls to action or whatever you want to say, the floor is yours.
You put me on the spot. Right? I don't have any wisdom for you, Stephen. No, but the one thing I'm going to say is, even if you choose not to use Mailit, even if you decide that maybe this isn't what you want, maybe this isn't what you want to use, what I will say to everybody, though, is that you need to be building an email list. I mean, that is the most important aspect of your business. So even if you say, okay, Mailit's not for me, Mailit's not what I'm going to use, that's great, that's fine, and I appreciate your consideration. But still, please do yourself a favor, build up an email list, because that is going to be the most important thing in your business.
Cool. Perfect. And you're launching August 19th at what time?
August 19th at 11 a.m.
Perfect. Well, Brett, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Stephen, thanks for having me.
Thanks, man. Bye-bye.